I'm Cameron Tusky, and welcome to the Memento Vivere Project, the podcast that reminds you life is not something to survive, it's something to truly live. Here, we sit down with dream chasers, adventurers, entrepreneurs, and everyday people doing extraordinary things to uncover what it takes to leave comfort behind, overcome challenges, pursue what matters most, and remember to live. Whether you're searching for inspiration, courage, or a reminder to start living more intentionally, you're in the right place. This is the Memento Vivere Project. So you graduated college in 21, and then are you originally from Green Bay?
Yeah, so I grew up in East Pier, and then St. Norbert is just across the river in West of Pier. I told my family and told myself I was never going to go there. Growing up, my brother and I, 2 years apart, we both played hockey, and he always wanted to play hockey for the Green Knights, and I always wanted to play hockey for the Badgers. And then we ended up switching, and he ended up playing hockey at Wisconsin.
Well,
then I played at St. Norbert, so it was kind of funny.
Still got to play hockey, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and have you survived post-tax season now? You're a CPA, I'm assuming?
Yep. Got through it somehow, some way, just like every year.
Yeah.
Just make it. Grind to the deadline, and then you get a little relief.
Yeah, worth it. So
yeah.
You're a numbers guy then?
Maybe. I enjoy it. It's a challenge every day. Trying to make sense of a new situation every time. Keeps me stimulated, I guess you could say. Makes me feel like I'm doing something. I like helping people too, so it kind of feels I get to scratch that itch a little bit as well.
So you have to give them a big number that they have to owe someone? Owe the government?
hopefully with good planning, they don't have to owe anything.
Exactly. So you're no longer in the Green Bay area. Where has life taken you?
Yeah, life's taken me across the country and back, and a few places in between. So I graduated, moved out to Arizona, spent about 3 years there, and now I moved to St. Louis, Missouri, where I live now. It's been a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
Got here at the end of October 2024. So, I don't know. Like I said, bad with dates.
Whereabouts in Arizona were you?
I was living in the Scottsdale area, Phoenix,
okay.
Just outside of Old Town, if you're familiar.
Yeah, for sure. I love Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Scottsdale was for the Waste Management Open 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's a blast.
Always,
I went there.
Always a good time.
I was there for 3 years. I went every year. It was awesome.
Yeah, as you should. Except for the only time I was at the Waste Management Open 2 years ago, it was like 45 degrees and poured the entire time. It was absolutely horrific, but awesome at the same time.
Yeah, it's just a booze fest the whole time for everybody.
Wasted management, as they call it. So what brought you to St. Louis?
Just kind of like a wild turn of events, honestly. So my senior year of college, COVID hit. My junior year, we had a very good hockey team and lost in the game to go to the NCAA tournament. I believe I might get that wrong. My coach might be mad at me. But then they shut the season off, so there wasn't even a tournament anyway, so it didn't matter. And then my senior year was still going on, and the season, we thought maybe there was a chance we'd be able to play. It just kept getting dragged on, and then they finally shut it down. And through that whole time, I would say probably middle of January, I got a lymph node, just as you normally do when you get sick, just natural reaction. Your body fighting infection. It kind of swelled up in my neck, and didn't really think anything of it. And then we didn't have a hockey season, so I was like talking to Mitch, and I was like, Mitch, what's going on with this? I was kind of joking around with him. Probably shouldn't have been joking the way I was, but I was like, I think I got cancer, man. Like completely joking. And he just, he's just laughing. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And then, it stuck around longer, and I was sweating at night. In my sleep, I get hives on my back and stuff, just like weird, stuff that was going on in my body that had never happened before, even with the common flu. So I finally just decided to get it checked out. Saw a doctor. They're like, you're fine. Like your blood work's completely normal. You're probably tired because you're practicing and studying in school. And it's just normal. Like you're a very healthy. I don't know what it was, 24-year-old. And I was like, okay, whatever. Slept on it, and then didn't really have a good feeling. So I saw another doctor, a surgeon. He's kind of said the same thing. He's like, we can cut it out if you want and test it, but he's like, if you were my son, I would just say give it another month or two and just wait.
Wow.
I was like, okay, that's good to hear. He slept on it a little bit more, and then I just had like a bad feeling. I was praying about it and everything. Just something didn't sit right with me. So I called the surgeon. I was like, hey, like, can we just do it? I'm really anxious about this, basically. He's like, yeah, no problem. So we scheduled it. They cut it out. And then on my 25th birthday, it was on a Friday. It was 24 or 25, bad with dates. He called me and he's like, hey, the first half of your tests came back. Everything's good. Like, have a good weekend. Enjoy your birthday. I was like, awesome. And then Monday, for some reason, my phone didn't ring, but I got a voicemail. And I was like, it was from the doctor. And I was like, why would he leave a voicemail like that, telling me to call him back? Like, that's not good. So I called him back and he's like, hey, so turns out the lymph node in your neck that was swollen, that was just the tip of the iceberg. There's a pretty large lymph node underneath, and it's like 100% positive for Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow.
Which is a blood cancer. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, is there any way like this test is wrong? And it's like, and he kind of laughed at me like in a sympathetic way. He's like, no, like we got to get you on a treatment plan like right away. So went through all that. I mean, I had amazing support with A, St. Norbert, and then B, the community of Green Bay, because I grew up there, and my family was, had a lot of roots there, so just felt like I had a whole city behind me. And then the hockey community itself is tiny. I was getting people were reaching out from all over, the NHL, colleges. My brother was playing pro at the time, his team, a few other pro teams, and I mean, it was kind of a blur, honestly. It just kind of gritted my teeth, put my head down, and just honestly, just like I didn't really do anything. I just sat there, took the medicine, and just prayed that it would work out, kind of thing.
Yeah, but sometimes that's all you can do is put your head down and face whatever you got to face.
Yeah. I mean, there were some dark days, absolutely, and like my teammates, I can't thank them enough. Like they helped me just more than they'll ever know. Like just especially when they would just like not want to talk about it, obviously, and just treat me normal as if it was like a normal Tuesday. So the hockey community, St. Norbert, is just a special place, always has been. And to think I didn't even want to go there as a kid.
Yeah, what's the old saying where make your own plans and God laughs?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was doing.
Yep.
So then I got engaged, kind of in the midst of all that, because my girlfriend at the time, she was getting a little annoyed because we'd been together for a long time, and she was like, everybody keeps calling me like your girlfriend, and I'm like, well, yeah, like we've been living together for like 3 years, we're gonna get married, like, okay, whatever. So then we finished all the cancer stuff. I forget how many weeks it was, maybe like 8. Standard cancer treatment, chemo, I think every other week or something like that. Honestly, I forget the details, sorry. And then graduated, got to walk. That was awesome. And then my fiance wanted to move to Arizona. I got a job in Arizona, and we're like, yeah, let's start over somewhere new, fresh start, kind of just leave the trauma in Green Bay and move on with life, get to adulthood. So then, as you know, they make you go through like regular checkups, 3 months, 6 months, that kind of thing. And then you hit the 2-year mark. That's like kind of like you hit the 2 years, you're pretty much in the clear. There's like very slim chance it's going to come back. So I remember going into my I got set up with the doctor and everything, and I went into my 2-year meeting. My body's feeling great, no symptoms, feeling healthy, grateful for life. And he's like, hey, scan came back, there's a spot that I want to biopsy, like it's kind of worrying me. And it was right by my heart. So we kind of freaked out a bit. And then they did the biopsies. It was tricky to get to because of the area. So it was a little bit of like an intense thing. For some reason, the anesthesia, when I came out of it, it's like, it happens to people, but it just kind of wore off weird, and I was like shaking and in so much pain, and I threw up. It was gross. Sorry, a little tidbit.
Yeah. Give us all the more details. And
then, so it came back positive that either I don't know if they ever got clarity on it. It was either that it never left or it came back. And they say when it comes back aggressively. So the treatment's different because they have to match that aggression. So I had to go, say 4 weeks of standard chemo, go into the hospital, leave, go home. But then I had to do a stem cell transplant, which is obviously very effective. It worked. But it's just an intense treatment plan. So they, like a Stanley straw, like the Stanley cups, those big straws, they took that size needle or tube or whatever you want to call it, stuck it in my jugular while I'm awake. Like it was miserable. They put this big cloth over my head, and I'm like sitting in like darkness, and then I just feel all this. Suck a bunch of blood out. I forget how many quarts, and then they freeze it. They put it through this big machine. It's basically a dialysis machine, and take the stem cells out, put the rest of the blood back in, and then freeze it. And they used to do, take a big bone needle, whatever they call those, stick it in your hip, and your hips would be like Swiss cheese getting the stem cells out. So I obviously would prefer this over that.
A straw to the jugular?
Yeah. It's better than sawed up hips. So I did those 4 weeks of chemo. I got all that blood drawn out, stem cells, and then I had to check into the hospital and stay there for just under a month, which was like the closest thing I can imagine hell being like. You're basically quarantined to this floor of the hospital. Everybody in there is like, you don't see anybody, but they're all doing the same thing you are or worse. And thank God I have such a loving family, because my sister, she lives in Arkansas. Her and her fiance completely uprooted their lives, drove with a U-Haul to Arizona, got Airbnb, and they were there the entire time. And they decorated. It was right around Thanksgiving, Christmas. They decorated my room with Christmas lights and a tree, and just made it as homey as possible. So when you go normal treatment, you go in. There's like call it FDA approved amount of chemo you can get without them having to like monitor you. When you check into a hospital, it's almost like 5 times that.
Wow. Yeah.
The amount of chemo, and I was getting it twice a day for a week. So I was just the goal of this treatment is to kill you basically on a cellular level, kill everything, and then put the stem cells, healthy ones, back in you and let those regenerate naturally. So that the idea is kill this cancer, kill everything in you, basically down to skin and bones. Lost a lot of weight. I remember they make you walk. You have to like walk to get blood flow going, and I could barely walk. I was like walking with a walker. Could barely, like, no energy. Could barely take a step, but like they like yell at you if you don't. So it's like, just gotta do.
You feel like you're on the ice
back.
getting coaches yelled at you again?
Yeah, and I mean, looking back at all this, it's like hockey has been such a blessing in my life, because it helped me persevere through this, that, and my family, the way I was raised, and my faith, and most importantly, it's just God really has a plan, whether you like it or not. Like you said, He laughs at your plans, and thank God that He prepared me for that the way He did. So eventually got better, and then just got hit with another curveball. My wife at the time, we had gotten married. She didn't want to be my wife anymore, and then tried to work through all that right after getting kicked out of the hospital, or released from the hospital. Just pretty sour taste from all that, and then working with therapists and yada yada, the whole works. And then my brother had finished playing hockey, and he moved to St. Louis and got a job with his roommate from college. He's a financial advisor, and then I was like, I'm not staying here. Like, I gotta get out of here. This is bad. So just moved back to the Midwest, closer to family, and I'm loving it here.
There you go.
And my dog.
That's quite the journey, and appreciate you sharing that and all the details that come with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, talking about sitting in a hospital room for a month, and yeah, that's got to be as close to hell on earth that someone could really get. You're not feeling great. You're stuck in the same room and not very energetic or happy. You're not surrounded by much happiness. But then I think that's also sometimes when the most amazing things happen in terms of appreciating the small things, and seeing the love that your family gives you and coming and decorating the room like that can make or break, a day.
Yeah.
Even though in the big scheme of life, like, not that big of a deal.
Right. No, it truly is like the little things that make the biggest difference. Absolutely. And I mean, thank God for the 21st century. I had FaceTime going with friends. I was playing Xbox with college buddies, just anything that, keep me distracted. So.
Yeah, for sure. So how have you changed your viewpoint or your approach to life since that happened?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing in hockey I always struggled with was consistency, and I was always, worried about the next game, not really focused on the current game. And I say that just because I think being present in life is kind of key. And I think this has really, really made me work on it, and now I feel I'm very decent at it. Obviously, it's a lifelong lesson to learn, but I learned a lot at a young age and kind of forced to. And I just, I stare at, I walk my dog every day, and I look at a blossoming tree, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, and I just soak it in. Or I see a bird or a sunrise. I love sunsets, sunrises, like. It's just like all these tiny little things that happen every single day. I'm just so appreciative for it. I just really try to like be where my feet are. And then like on the other side of it, like when I'm working out and I don't want to, I'm like, I could literally not walk down a hallway. Like I'm blessed to be able to work out today. Like it just kind of flips my perspective quick. And I don't like the victim mentality. I don't want anybody ever to feel bad for me. I hate feeling bad for myself. Just kind of own, have ownership in your life and be responsible, and just it's so weird because I'm like just turned 30 and I feel like I have all these like deep life lessons.
But isn't that crazy? Like when you reflect on it, you just turned 30, but look at what you did in the last 5 years, a decade. Graduated college, got married, battled cancer, got divorced. Like you've lived an entire life in 10 years that most people go through in 70 years. Yeah,
absolutely. I always say it was a wild 5 years, and then just keep pushing.
Yeah. So, appreciating the small things. I saw your Instagram video the other day about you walking and just literally you're admiring the flower bed. And
yeah.
I don't know, like there's like
this guy.
You have like a humorous take on it too, where like, like I don't even like flowers, but I'm sitting here looking at the beauty of these flowers because I've gone through some shit, and now I'm seeing the beauty in the smallest things that are around me, and I think that's a pretty noble quality to have. And it sucks that people have to go through pain to get there, but I think that's something that we should all strive for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that guy, I don't know if he'll ever see that video, but he's a good dude. He's always out there working on it, him and his wife, and it's so great to see someone's hard work just come to prosper, and it's a beautiful, beautiful flower bed.
Well, enjoy that on your continued walks with your dog.
That's right.
So let's talk about the hat that you're wearing and how I found you with Smiley Threads. A mutual friend of ours, Mitch, shared that a post of yours with Smiley Threads. So talk about the meaning, the mission behind it, where that all came from, and I think the tagline is probably one of my favorites that I've seen in a really long time.
Thank you very much. I was, it was kind of something born from a dark place that's trying to be a light in the world. I've always wanted to do something, have my name on it, be my own. And I was just sitting there like thinking like I'm gonna beat this thing again, but like I got to do something with my life. I'm not the type to like go run an ultra marathon. I hate running. I'm not an Ironman guy. I love working out, but that's not my speed. I'd rather compete like playing golf or something. That's where I get my competition. And I was like, I got to do something. And I was just sitting there thinking like, one of those nights where I couldn't sleep and, just pounding headache. And I'm like, everybody my whole life has always told me that I could light up a room and I've got such a great smile. And I truly love to smile and be happy. Who doesn't? But I'm like, I got to share this somehow and have an impactful position on people's lives through this. I don't necessarily love like associating my journey and my story with Smiley Threads just because I don't want anybody to like feel bad and then they're like, oh, I gotta get a hat. Like that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but don't you think there's also some truth to the testament of like, I at my lowest point, or maybe one of your lowest points, I'm going to assume things I guess about your life here, but at one of my lowest points, I still found a reason or a desire to smile, and that's ultimately important. And if I can smile in this moment, then hopefully you can find a reason to smile in whatever you, general public, are also going through. So it's inspirational. It doesn't have to be a victim mentality.
No, I know. I just get a little weird about it.
Well, that's what you're on the podcast
like
for,
the
to talk about yourself. So you're going to have to be uncomfortable talking about yourself.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. That's pretty much the heart of it is, everybody's going through something, some kind of adversity, big or small, in whose ever eyes. But, like, it makes a world of difference if you can have a positive outlook on your situation and be like, I'm going to do this. This is going to, I'm going to get through this. And I'm going to have a positive attitude while I do it because, you have two choices when you're in the situation that I was in. It's either you excuse my language, bitch and moan and cry about it, or you could be like, okay, like this is where I'm at. I'm going to get through this, and then like I'm going to keep living. And to me, it makes no sense to have that first option because that's just going to hinder your, in my case, the healing, and it's just going to make a worse situation worse. So that's truly the heart of it. Have a good attitude when life doesn't go your way and you're faced with something that you don't want to go through.
Yeah, here I'm looking up you might be able to repeat it off memory. I cannot yet. But the wearable positivity and then turning everyday moments into reasons to smile. And I think like you were talking about the appreciating the bush or the flower bed or the sunset or the whatever. And literally, if you train your mind to be able to appreciate those moments and find a reason to smile, you're gonna have a much easier time finding a reason to smile.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it takes what do they say? It takes way less, or it takes twice the amount of muscles to frown than it does to smile or whatever.
Yeah, so like smiling's way easier.
Smile? Yeah,
love it. So, are you the designer on this all, and is this?
Yes, that's why it's so poor.
Sometimes simple is the best, and it's just straight to the point. Like
that's right.
Smile or the classic smiley face. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it was my thing. I just wanted to do it and took it from the ground up. I'm always welcome to feedback. I can't promise anything will get adjusted, but
you'll at least listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to get into like the toddler clothes. I think those are fun, like the onesies for newborns, that kind of thing. Those are cute.
And
it's tricky though.
That would make great pictures too when the toddler is just in a temper tantrum screaming with the word smile on their chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
have you always had that mentality and that approach to find small things to smile about, or not let adversity get you down? Like obviously being a lifelong athlete, hockey, maybe played other sports too, but like you're gonna face some adversity. You're gonna lose plenty of games. You're gonna take some hits that you didn't want to take, and you're gonna get knocked down, and you got to get back up on the rink or on the field or the whatever. But doing it in life is maybe a little bit more challenging and difficult. But I think sports is a good training tool for life. So is that something you've always kind of had, or did the cancer kind of reshape your approach to life?
Yeah, I would say in general, growing up, I was always a very happy-go-lucky kid. I'm blessed to say I didn't really face much adversity until maybe I was 18, outside of just like normal kid stuff, breaking a bone or cutting your knee up on the concrete. So when you play hockey, you play juniors and you play college, and I was cut from my first team. I had never been cut from a team, and I got cut in juniors. And that was like the real time I really got the good taste of adversity, and I didn't handle it so well. I was kind of like pissing and moaning about my situation. And, that guy didn't deserve it. I deserved it. That kind of thing. Basically victim mentality. And I went down a league and I was playing in Minot, North Dakota. It's a wonderful town, but it's definitely in the middle of nowhere. But I made some lifelong friends there for sure. My Bill family that I live with there, they were incredible to me. I was probably not the not the best guess, but we made the most out of it. And then I did 3 years of that, and I was, honest to God, I was ready to quit hockey and just, go to school. I was thinking about trade school, just kind of get it done with and go and move on with life. And thank God for Coach Coughlin at St. Norbert. He was like, you got to come, just take a visit, let's talk. And he really convinced me to play again. And then that first year, we won the national championship, but even at the start of the year, my love for hockey just got revived like instantly. It's just a family there at St. Norbert. This is such a special place, especially in the hockey world. That is just like creme de la creme, or whatever they say. But then getting sick, I think it really it instilled that lesson in me that you got to have a positive attitude when you're hit with adversity. And like I said, so I walk into the St. Norbert locker room the first day, and there's this quote on the wall, and I'm not even a big quote guy. And it says, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. And granted, there's quotes all over that locker room, but for some reason that just it's really stuck out to me. And it's stuck with me ever since, and I kind of always come back to that when something doesn't go my way. And I guess I've kind of become a quote guy with that one.
One of my favorite quotes is very similar to that. It's by Randy Pausch, who was a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, and he gave a last lecture after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And in that speech is now a book as well. He said something along the lines of, so it's my favorite quote, and I can't remember it verbatim, but you can't choose the hand you're dealt, or you can't choose the cards you're dealt, just how you play the hand.
Exactly.
It's you can be given whatever situation, but it's how you respond, and everyone has a choice in how they respond. They don't have a choice with what their circumstance or their situation might be, which might come across as unfair disadvantage or unfair whatever, but what are you gonna do with it?
You gotta control what you can control.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So how do you find yourself remembering to living life to the fullest? Do you travel? Do you golf? Do you what is your I don't know, ultimate way to just celebrate still being here?
Yeah. Honest to God, my absolute favorite thing is enjoying the sunset. I think that just really centers me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I'm so lucky to be able to enjoy this. That is a similar reason as to why I love golf so much, just being out in nature, beautiful landscapes. I'm like, look what God has given us. This is incredible. We get to experience it. And I just feel, I always just talk to myself. I'm like, I am so lucky to be here right now. And I just drink it in and try to live, in the present moment as much as I can. Because it's so easy, I got to do this. I have, X, Y, and Z going on later tonight. My parents got to call me, blah, blah, blah. And it's a hard thing to do, and I've definitely not mastered it yet. But living in the moment is, I think it's the key to life. I love to spend time with my brother here in St. Louis. He's engaged, and his fiance she's honestly one of my best friends.
Love that.
They live about 5 minutes away, so we're always hanging out. I think they're coming over tonight for dinner. I recently went to Hawaii, and I did skydiving. That was the top of my bucket list I made when I was going through all this cancer junk. I want to skydive. I just want to do it.
What was it like?
So that was incredible. Oh, it was awesome. It doesn't even feel like you're falling. It kind of feels like you're floating. It's just very windy.
Yeah.
And I got to do it over the coast of Hawaii, so it was pretty special.
That's got to be I'm sure you've seen some beautiful sunsets, but seeing the sky from that perspective, I'm sure is a pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I wasn't going to buy the pictures, but then they kept teasing me with oh, look at this picture, and I was like, okay, I'll buy.
Yeah, how could you not?
Yeah. So that was up there, and then Italy and Egypt are the other two on my bucket list. I haven't done that yet. But
okay. What else? What else is on your bucket list? You said you made a list while you were going through your journey.
It's truly those three.
The travel destinations.
Yeah. Still in the works.
Why Egypt of all places?
I'm really interested in the pyramids. I think they're just fantastic.
Mind blowing really how thousands of years ago how'd
that happen? Were they aliens? I don't know.
For sure. I don't get in. Well, I'm fascinated with conspiracy theories, but the pyramids might be one that I actually buy into. There's no way some dudes carried thousands of tons of bricks by hand.
Yeah,
And
I think just seeing it would
perfectly
be cool.
northeast, southwest.
Yeah, like they align with like the universe or whatever kind of.
Yep.
I don't know. There's something there. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I don't actually buy into that one, but it's fascinating to me.
Me neither.
So talk about what else did you do in Hawaii? Because I think that's on a lot of people's bucket lists. Like it almost feels like a surreal place, and it's
fake.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I have a buddy that I grew up playing hockey with. He went to West Point, played hockey there, and then he got stationed a few places, and then now he's in Hawaii. So I got to stay with him. Basically, just had to pay for my flight and food out there. And I tried surfing for the first time. That was extremely hard. Cut my foot on the reef. Soaked it up. We played tennis. We played basketball. Just hung out by the beach. There was actually like the pro surfing circuit was going on in Hawaii. They kind of rotate throughout the world. So we sat at the beach a lot and just watched these pro guys practicing. And they were insane.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a surfer guy now.
I was in Hawaii once, and I tried to learn how to surf as well. I didn't even get up to like be able to cut my foot on a reef, but because I did so much paddling to get out there, I just chafed my nipples so bad.
Yep.
So that was my only surfing experience, was that.
I had that too, and I got bumped shoulders, so like swim paddling was really hard. And I think I tried it 3 times, like three separate occasions, and I only got up once, but that was exhilarating, just being on the wave.
And to feel how powerful water actually is.
Yeah, you get tossed around quick.
Yeah. Have you been back to playing hockey at all?
Yeah, there's a few beer leagues we play in. There's a really nice skate on Tuesdays in Kirkwood, Tuesday mornings. My brother and I play in. That's another thing I'm extremely grateful for is being able to play hockey with my brother still. We grew up playing together, and then in high school, then we went our separate ways just because of age gap and probably a skill gap too. And then another kind of crazy. My mom calls them God moments, but in professional sports and stuff, people get traded all the time. And my brother was playing hockey in South Carolina, I believe, and he was decently good. So like kind of a shock for him to be traded. But he ended up getting traded to Indiana like right around the time I was starting treatment. And his coach in Indiana was like, "Hey, I know what's going on with your brother. Like, go right ahead, go up there and visit." So he was there for my first treatment, which I mean, like you can't make that up. Like God is good in so many ways. We got to skate. I wasn't skating. He practiced with my team. I was just out there pushing pucks. The doc wouldn't let me. It's kind of annoying. But one of my favorite hockey memories is after that practice, because I was just starting this whole thing, and obviously scared for my life, scared for what was going to happen to my body and my future. And he just asked me kind of candidly, he's like, "Hey, you want to take a lap and say a prayer?" And I was like, "Wow, like, I mean, we're close. I didn't know we were that close as brothers." And that's honestly one of my favorite hockey memories ever. I remember just kind of choking up hearing him pray. And
for sure.
It's just super special.
Yeah, that's got to be taking the close relationship to a whole new level. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, my family. There's a 10-year gap between me and the oldest. There's 5 of us, and we're all kind of obviously adults now and spread out across the U.S. a little bit, mostly the Midwest. I got a brother in Denver, and I would say this. I'm not sure if everybody would say this, but I feel like we kind of got really close as a family because of what I went through. So that's another beautiful thing that came out of this. There's numerous.
Yeah, count your blessings for what they are, and despite some tragic moments.
Yeah, gotta use the darkest times to make something beautiful every time.
Exactly. Well, maybe that's the answer to the next question that I wanted to ask you. But what advice would you give to people, or to someone who, I don't know, like they might be struggling with something or not being able to appreciate where they're at? They're frustrated with whatever circumstance or situation they're in. How would you help them out? Yeah,
that's tough. I mean, for someone from a faith background, for me, it's pretty easy to just say pray about it, and trust in God and everything you can do. But that's not the case for everybody. So I guess on a more human level, I would say just try to find 3 things that you're grateful for currently. It's like today. Even while you're going through the situation, and they could be like random things. And there's something about that. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not a scientist, but something happens in your brain that just kind of something switches, and you just find you do that find 3 things today, do it tomorrow, but they can't be the same things. So and then you continue to do that, and it's just like things compound pretty quick if you let them. So I would say that, and I would say just give yourself grace. That's something I've been working on a lot in my adult life. Is I'm pretty hard on myself in general, just because of hockey and trying to be the best I can be there. And I've learned that that's a good thing, but there's a balance to it, and you need to be graceful with yourself and kind of give yourself a break sometimes. There's no you're your worst critic. Nobody's going to root harder against you than yourself. So you got to be nice to yourself. Yeah.
No one's going to root harder against you or like be harder on you than yourself. But then also you got to be the person to cheer yourself on the loudest too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's all fantastic advice. So appreciate you sharing that perspective and see how your journey has shaped you, whether it was growing up faith-based and then how cancer has affected it and hockey as well. So yeah, no, very much appreciate you sharing your perspective.
Thank you for letting me.
We've gotten through some heavy stuff, so maybe let's get through maybe some other things. Let's talk about hockey. Where are your hockey loyalties? Growing up in Wisconsin, there's no pro sport. Your brother, you said, played pro hockey. So did you just follow him, or are you a Blues fan now? Like, what are we doing here?
No. So my parents are from Illinois, outside of Chicago, and my dad actually was neighbors with the doctor for the Blackhawks. He grew up best friends with their kid.
That's awesome.
So he didn't play hockey or anything. I think he was a swimmer in high school. He was a huge Blackhawks fan, and then when he found out that my oldest brother wanted to play hockey, that kind of was like all lights green kind of thing. Like, let's go. So we grew up Blackhawks fans. Obviously, you have to be a Packer fan if you're from Green Bay. There's really no way around it. So huge Packer fan, huge Blackhawks fan. I do like the Blues because they're here, and I didn't have that home state team growing up to root for. I mean, their arena is 10 minutes from my house. I've been to a few games. But overall, just a fan. Like, if I had to pick one team, it'd be the Blackhawks. But I love playoff hockey that's going on right now.
For sure.
It's the best time of the year.
But there's no live sporting event quite like the United Center when the Hawks are on.
No, when they're good. Yeah.
Not
to say they're not good this year.
It was rough.
They weren't very good.
I took my son to he was 7 or 8 at the time to his first Blackhawks game 2 years ago. So he's probably 7. It was a Friday. It was Black Friday. It was right after Thanksgiving. It was a day game, and we get there, and he gets offered to ride on the Zamboni during one of the intermissions.
No way.
And he said no. I was like, dude, this is a missed opportunity. So
what the heck? Why did he say no?
He said no. He regrets it now. But we sit down in some pretty sweet seats. There's a hat trick during the game, so the hats are just flying down on the ice. And then I don't even remember who they were playing, but then the Blackhawks were just stomping them, and then it was getting chippy. And then third period, full ice fight. Every guy drops their gloves. So now,
oh my gosh,
my son's been to a few hockey games. Like, you think there's gonna be a full ice fight today? I was like, nope, that never is gonna happen. Probably ever again at a game that you're at. So
once in a lifetime. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a good product they have at the United Center.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. So I appreciate you sharing. Again, everything. Tell people where they can find Smiley Threads and give your little elevator pitch for Smiley Threads.
You can find us online, smileythreads.shop, just like it sounds, spelled just like it sounds. On Instagram, it's Smiley Threads. I think there at one point was a TikTok, but I don't really go on that anymore, so just Instagram. If you want like comfy clothes that reminds you to be positive, reminds people to be positive. I get comments left and right. I'm like, I like that hat. Like, that's such a cool hat. Good message. It's got the little logo on the side. Yeah, if you're looking for good vibes, smileythreads.shop.
When people compliment you on the street, do you say like, "Yeah, it's my hat. I designed this," and then you try and sell them on
No,
it?
I
You have
usually
like
just
a trench coat full of hats that you bust open.
That's what my brother is my faux marketing guy, and he says when someone says that, you got to give it to the hat to him and be like, here, you can have the one off my head.
For sure.
Check us out online. And I don't do that. I usually just laugh and say thank you. But it makes me feel good, so whatever.
I think you got to listen to your brother on that one though, because that would be a sweet story for them
Yeah.
too. Of like, this guy just gave me his hat. I complimented. He just gave it to me.
Edit this part. Don't let him hear that.
Yeah. So go find out. Go check out Smiley Threads, and thanks for sharing your reasons to smile despite some of the pain you've gone through, and hopefully it encourages other people to find their reason to smile as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thanks for listening to the Memento Vivere project. I hope this episode reminded you that the life you dream about is not as far away as it feels. It may push you outside your comfort zone. It may take discipline and courage, but it only takes one small step today to put you on the path toward your ideal future. Life is a project, and remember to live it. So here's your challenge. Don't just listen to this episode. Do something with it. Write down one dream, one adventure, one conversation, or one step you've been putting off, and determine how you are going to take action on it this week. And if this episode moved you in any way, share it with someone else who could benefit from it. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss other inspirational stories. And please leave a review. Help us build a community of people who are chasing dreams, building their ideal lives, and living intentionally. Until next time, Memento Vivere. Remember to live.